Happy Sunday fun day. Welcome everyone to the #1 daily Bitcoin pod. In today's show, I'll be breaking down the latest Bitcoin technical analysis. We'll also be discussing 19 trillion in transactions have been settled on the Bitcoin network in 2024 alone. We'll also be discussing FTX payment plan is now effective, but when exactly will users see their funds? I'll be breaking this down for you. We'll also be discussing Janet Yellen warns of an extraordinary measure incoming as 36 trillion national debt approaches the ceiling. We'll also be discussing MicroStrategy's Sailor posts a Bitcoin tracker hinting at a big Monday purchase of $2 billion. We'll also be discussing the price for one Bitcoin will be $1 million in 2025, and it is possible under this one condition. We'll also be taking a look at the overall crypto market. All this plus so much more in today's show. Welcome everyone to the live. We should be live on X, Rumble, and YouTube. If you guys can do a quick check and let me know, as my software was being a little sketchy before I started the stream and I rebooted it and all that, but hopefully we're loud and clear. We should be loud and clear on X, Rumble, and YouTube, so let me know before we move any further. Good morning, good afternoon, and welcome. Shout out Jay Nice, East Afro King, Matthew, James, Trupia, Juan Espino, Rob C, Alvio, Ray Egan in the building. Shout out Jonas, shout out Shelton, and the rest of the fam. What's crack-a-lackin'? I'm going to go ahead and check the stream myself over here on X while I'm awaiting your feedback. And I'm going to go ahead and pin that. Are we live? Yeah, we are. Shows we're live, at least. I went ahead and pinned it to the top of the profile. If you guys can repost, comment, quote, everything will get reposted and shouted out in real time. Greatly appreciate it. 5 more days until I'm in Bitcoin country, chillaxing with Max and Stacy. I am so excited. And shout out Stay Frosty. Appreciate it, fam. DJ Fever Dream, welcome. You are live, JB. Thank you, Steve. That's what I needed to hear. YouTube, very loud and clear. Cheers. Thank you, Ray. Ahoy, Bitcoin Pirate Crew. Fun Day Sunday. That's what's up. And also congratulations to Rock Mama. She has officially made it as one of our moderators. Not looking to accept any new mods for a long time being because we have plenty, and especially newer mods such as Greg and some of the other fam. So thank you guys for your service. You're going to notice the moderators' names are in blue. All the member names are in green, and we appreciate your service and anyone supporting the stream in that way. So thank you guys. Shout out the one and only Oracle. Make sure you're following her over on X if you're not already. Her username is JC Ice. Definitely one of my favorite accounts to be following. Matthew, welcome. Why ever sell in the bull market? Why sell the biddy? Well, I think some people sell because they're forced to. Maybe they have a debt obligation or tax or something. But common sense, right? Like Bitcoin miner, for example. They're mining mass amounts of Bitcoin, but they have mass overhead. So every once in a while, they're kind of forced to sell to keep the operation going. So there's one example on why someone may, sell their Bitcoin. But obviously it's not smart, it's not advantageous, but you may be in a position where you're already all in on Bitcoin, and to continue to survive, you got to spend some of that biddy. You got to do what you got to do. Yeah, exactly. The mods are doing a fantastical job. I feel very blessed each and every day to have our incredible mods. So give it up for them. Just a regular here. Shout out Nabatalas. Welcome, family. I don't recognize the name. Did you change your name? And damn straight, says Adam. Nobalatas says true. Which is the Dateline. Dateline, what are we talking? Sometimes you just have to borrow from the biddy. Yeah, and in a perfect world, all the banks will accept Bitcoin as collateral. You know what I mean? Like they should be doing. However, all that to come in, but it's not in place yet. There are lenders out there, don't get me wrong, but some of them are pretty sketchy, if you feel what I'm saying. Shout out to the Portuguese over there in Portugal, holding it down. Looking forward to the Nippinator, pumping the bags. Well, all hail the Nippinator. Keep the comments flowing. Welcome everyone to the live stream. Happy Sunday Fun Day. Church is in session.
Oh my gosh, it's finally almost here. JV is going to talk to us. Crypto news is near. I can't stand waiting. There is no debating. I waited all day, maybe I need a life, but Bitcoin is all I can think about day and night. Hurry, JV.
Welcome everyone to the live stream. It is January 5th, 2024. Church is in session. I'm going to be preaching the Holy Gospel of Satoshi for the next couple of hours. Spread the word. Shout out JC Ice, our one and only Oracle. Appreciate a repost. She wrote, "We are live. Get in here and check in with JV in the van." Much appreciated. Shout out Anderson. Shout out Adam Taylor. Bitcoin News Live with JV. East Afro King. First Sunday with the fam. Glad to have you here, brother, and welcome. And I know it's a holiday this week. It's Three Kings Day because everything is still closed in Puerto Rico. So be it. We're also going to be streaming tomorrow and the next few days at the same time due to that change or whatever. Our mods are the bomb diggity. Couldn't agree more with you, Diana. Well said. Greetings from the UK. Shout out to the UK fammy fam. I could listen to Samson talk about the video all day. Shout out Samson Mao, Jan 3 founder. Love Samson and the work he's doing with the nation state adoption from all around the world. Respect. And shout out Crypto Surge. Good to see you, brother. What's crack-a-lackin'? Greg says, JV, the international date line basically cuts the Pacific Ocean in half. So I'm Australia, Asia, maybe even the Central Europe. It is already a Monday. There's at least 12 hours ahead. So be it, brother, and enjoy. But anyways, welcome everyone joining the stream. Let's kick it off. Without further ado, if you're new to the channel, very important to smash the likes, then hit the bell icon, turn on the notifications, and subscribe. No One Daily Bitcoin Pod. Today is pod episode 1869. I'm your host, JV. It's January 5th, 2024. Church is in session. I'm going to be preaching the Holy Gospel of Satoshi over the course of the next couple of hours, and we have a lot to share. Let's kick it off with our market watch as we do each and every day. And as you can see, Bitcoin taking a bit of a corrective move, but maintaining above 98.2 at the time of the live. And we have Ether in the green, back on the move, trading above 36 hundo, while Solana, Tron, BNB, and the majority of the alts are correcting and in the red. And checking out coinmarketcap.com. Current crypto market cap sits at 3.49 trillion. Bitcoin market cap 1.943 trillion. We got roughly 82.5 billion of volume for the past 24 hours. Bitcoin dominance took a step back the other day, and it's currently 55.7% with Ether dominance back on the rise, but barely at 12.6%. And checking out top 100 crypto gainers past 24 hours, we have AIOZ up 17%, Move up 13%, and XTC up 8%. Which alts, if any, are you bullish on for the bull? Holla at your boy. And checking out the crypto bubbles, get a visual perspective on the day. Yeah, I'd say like safe to say 90% of the market correcting and in the red. Zooming out on the monthly, very similar story, only more drastic. Rex City correction carnage in the red. And checking out the crypto greed and fear index. Today we're 72 greed, yesterday 73, last week is 73, and last month is 72 in greed. And checking out the time chain calendar. We have 172,044 blocks until the next halving. We're currently on block height number 877,956. TikTok next block every 10 minutes since the inception of the Genesis block, which we just had the anniversary of a couple of days ago, 16 years in the making. And you currently exchange one fiat monopoly dollar for 1,021 sats. So stack the sats, put down the gats, and let's get it. Gong to 100. I thought you never asked, brother. This gong strike is for you, and to send the biddy to 100 G's where it belongs. Hey now. Adam's just here for the pudgy little penguins, apparently. Oracle's still resting. Do you think you getting under the weather had to do with that fog that looked like, chemical warfare? Just curious, because I heard a lot of other people getting sick as a result, and you did reference that when we were chatting. Sweet 16 for the biddy. That's right. It's all grown up. It's all grown up, almost an adult. Glad to be of service, JV, and to the CNA fam. There she is, Rock Mama. You'll notice the nice, beautiful moderator wrench next to the name. So congratulations to our newest and dedicated moderator. Greatly appreciate your support there, Rock Mama. Just note on the Rumble, I have yet to do it over there. I just made you one here because it's easier to do on the YouTube. I just click on your name and set the setting. I have to do some other witchcraft over on Rumble to make it happen, but we'll also make you a mod over there. Appreciate your service, and thank you so much for tuning in every day. That fog-ish is crazy. I mean, it truly is, and it's probably a better topic of conversation for the uncensored version of the pod, but very sketchy and very scary at the same time. Yeah, I mean, blessing Biddy Nation from Puerto Rico. DJ Wednesday in the building. Appreciate that, brother. Puerto Rico repping. Puerto Rico is the crypto mecca of the United States. And of course, El Salvador's the Bitcoin mecca of the world. You feel me? And look at the Nippinator. There's the indicator we've been waiting on. He's ready to fire Gary Stat. You're very welcome. And thanks for reaching out to me, Rock Mama. And thank you, JC Ice, as well, of course. And welcome everyone joining the live stream. We're going to jump into today's astrology for the broskies. Let me just check the X feed one more time. And a reminder, there's a tri-stream. We're live on X, Rumble, and YouTube. I will be streaming over the course of the next couple of hours. Already 440 people live on the stream. Shout out Petrie, Fox Handles, A. Kelly, Catherine Weaver. Thank you. Just reposted you. Appreciate all your reposts each and every day. You guys are the bomb diggity. Good trip. Hope you meet Bukele. Yeah, me too. That'd be fantastical. Definitely on my bucket list. So 5 days away. Looking forward to it. And a reminder, on my travel day, I'm not going to be able to stream because I have an all-day flight. And then the day of the event, I'm not going to be able to stream because it's an all-day event. But I do planning on streaming on all the other days. I'm in El Salvador, and I'll give you all the updates and inside scoops with any information I gather from the OGs, so I got your back. Joe Buddy says, Isabella, Puerto Rico in the house. Oh, nice. Isabella, eh? I moved here way before I even knew what crypto is. Well ahead of the curve, 15 years ago. Respect, Joe Buddy. And welcome everyone joining the live stream now for our astrology for the broskies, as we call it. Also be pulling up some of the live charts, and we'll go from there. This headline reads, Bitcoin exchange inflow and miner outflow drop Bitcoin to reclaim 100 Gs. And we got so close to it just the other day. The total amount of the Bitcoin transferred on the exchanges and the miner outflow, the amount of the Bitcoin sent by the miner exchanges have significantly dropped since November of 2024, suggesting reduced selling pressure. And according to CryptoQuant, Bitcoin exchange inflows November 2024 peaked of 98,748 at the bid. November 25th, following approximately 2 months of heightened exchange inflow activity. And exchange inflows declined December 2024, but remain significant, with the total number of the biddy sent to the exchanges ranging from 11,000 to 79,000 coins per day. The reduction in exchange inflow is accompanied by the reduced miner outflow, indicating reduced selling pressure for the Bitcoin miners, who regularly offload their Bitcoin holdings to pay for the operational expenses. Answering some of the questions from earlier, like, JV, why do people ever sell their Bitcoin? There's a prime example. Maybe they're all in on Bitcoin, and to continue the operation, they got to pay for the costs, electricity, such as the miners. Yeah, I mean, maybe more ASIC miners, whatever it may be. Maybe they got to pay their taxes. Who knows? But it does obviously cost money to run businesses. Miner outflows have been declining since highs seen in November, when the miners secured profits during the Bitcoin historic price rally following the election of Trump. That was November 5th. And data from CryptoQuant shows outflows peak in November 11th, when a miner sent 25,000 of the biddy to the exchanges at a price of approximately 88,000 per coin. Then January 1st of this year, miners sent almost 5,500 Bitcoin to the exchanges, followed by 5,700 Bitcoin January 2nd and 2,100 Jan 3rd, and which was the official Genesis block day, 16-year anniversary since the inception of the Genesis block. Bitcoin needs to beef up the trading volume to rally in January to get to that 110 level, which would send us to price discovery as the current all-time high sitting pretty at 108.3. Quoting the analyst right here, Alex, the market structure remains bullish with no clear signs of being overheated. However, for a strong impulse, we lack sufficient trading volume. Therefore, we are waiting for the market to recover from the holiday season. And tweet from Max Kaiser. In a nutshell, why Bukele is unique. He was told by the World Bank and IMF not to stop the plague of gang homicides because it would collapse the economy and threaten their loan payments. He said, F you. Not only didn't the economy suffer, it took off like a rocket ship to the moon. So respect to Bukele. That's why we practice our Bukele-nomics. Can't wait to be in Bitcoin country in 5 days. Checking out some of the live charts, a little live chart action, Jackson satisfaction for the broskies. And of course, can't forget about the siskies. So here we are, live chart, 1 hour via TradingView, via Coinbase. And we have a red target in play at 110,000. We have a rising wedgie, the only wedgie I approve of. We also have 108.5 target in the green for the bulls. And zooming out from the 1 hour, we take a look at the 4 hour. And the 4 hour says, we're going up forever, Laura. We also have the what is that? 110, yep, 110.4 and 108.5 on the 4-hour chart. Zooming out from there, we go to the 1-day chart. Lots of price action. We do also have that rising wedgie there, similar price target of 110 and 108. And zooming out from the daily, we check out the weekly, and we do get a weekly close here in a few hours. And happy 420 for the broskies. It's 420 here in Puerto Rico. And as you can see, there's a sexy cup and handle target on your screen, sitting at 124. What month, what time preference of this year of 2025 do you think we hit that 124 target on the weekly chart? I think Q1. It's a lock. Which exact month, I don't really know, but hopefully sooner than later. And zooming out from the weekly, we take a look at the monthly. And the monthly says we're also going up forever, Laura. And we're already forming a nice green candle close for the month of January. We just kicked off Q1 here. Trump is about to take office in less than 3 weeks, virtually 2.5 weeks, or just over 2 weeks. So you already know things are about to change. Gensler, you're fired. Go home and get your shine box. You got a new chairman in town, and his name is the Nippinator. And with that being shared, welcome everyone to the live stream. Welcome everyone. Good to have you here. Shout out to the Digital Dankness. Appreciate you sharing the rules. Number one, no doxing or sharing your own private info. Be respectful. No harassment. No spam, ads, shilling, and keep the chat fam friendly. Like, subscribe. Always appreciate your service, brother. Thank you. Holla Surge. Surge is surgeon. The Oracle, I apologize for the cold air leaking out of the state. We get 6 months of this crap. Well, now we blame Steve for the cold weather, apparently. The dankness is incognito, and that's the way you should be, especially as a Bitcoin brother. Yeah, I mean, broski's supposed to be incognito for obvious reasons, and if you don't know, now you know. Check the scoreboard. But yeah, here we are. We're back in the green, 98.5, live and in the flesh. 600 people on the live stream. Welcome everyone just joining us. Good to have everyone here with us. Always an honor. Greatly appreciate y'all. Eric Tompkins, thank you for the reposts and for the likes, and anyone reposting the stream. Thank you guys in advance. You're going to notice the stream pinned at the very top of the profile, and if you don't know, now you know, broskies. Yeah, man, I mean, it is what it is. Let's go. Oh, big week ahead of us. Michael Saylor did the tracker thing, which is a precursor that he's going to announce another maybe $2 billion buy tomorrow. We'll talk about this here in a little bit. We're also going to be talking about the FTX repayment plan, Janet Yellen's $36 trillion of debt, all the latest from Michael Saylor. And then, of course, the one catalyst, which will likely send Bitcoin to that 1 million or more milestone this year in 2025. For these crazy targets to come into fruition and not seem so crazy, this one catalyst has to occur. So we'll be breaking all that down for you. We'll also have a fantastic Q&A segment, and let's see if we can start pumping. Let's get back above 100 G's. That'd be a fantastical target before the weekly close here in a few hours, if you know what I'm saying. A Satoshi saved is a Satoshi earned. Well said, Tokenomics. Couldn't agree more. Yes, it was FogVid, JV, 24 hours after. That's so crazy. And it was all over, right? Not just obviously in your state. I heard reports in Arkansas, Florida, etc. So I wonder what kind of warfare they got going on over there. And everyone who breathed it in said they felt sick and like they were being unalived. So you're not the only one. Rock Mamba, I foresee the 10,000 dips and pumps per day. One day when Bitcoin is 400,000, it won't seem so crazy, will it? That's precisely correct. And a 10% jump, just to put it into perspective, when we're trading at $1 million per coin, which potentially could be sometime this year, a 10% jump or decline is freaking $100,000. So you're going to start seeing Bitcoin's volatility. It's not going to be a lot. It's only 10%, but it could be 100,000 swing in the day, which is effectively a God candle, right? So if you're ever wondering, can these God candles really? Yeah. As the price increases, think of it that way. When we're $1 million 10x from here, a freaking 10% swing is $100,000 like that. Yeah, I mean, so we can effectively go from 1 million to 900,000 back to 1.1 million within the same day. That's the type of volatility which could occur. We shall soon see. Joseph says the bad fog. I saw some of that also. Yeah, it was trending all across social media. A lot of people were sharing it. It did not look normal. In fact, it's something I've never even seen before. So what do you do in a situation like that? I take it you would stay inside, maybe even have some special mask specifically for that type of chemical warfare to keep your air breathing safe. Yeah, I mean, I definitely wouldn't be outside breathing that ish in and being experimented on. That's for sure. I mean, but absolutely agree with you there, Rock Mama. 10,000 dips, it's nothing. That's only 10% at 100,000. Yeah, I mean, so absolutely. Bitcoin talks, BS walks. It was dry too. Fog isn't dry. That's right. Fog is wet. Just a God candle on the 5-minute chart. Send in. Let's make it happen, Cap. But anyways, keep the comments flowing. We do have roughly 700 people on the live stream. Again, we're live on X, Rumble, and YouTube. And let's continue with the news. Shall we? Welcome, Violetta. Good to have you here, and shout out to the rest of the fam. Next story of the day, and you got to respect the freeze frame, which always occurs during my stream. But anyways, next headline reads 19 trillion in transactions were settled on the Bitcoin network just in the year 2024. That's pretty phenomenal. More than $19 trillion worth of transactions settled over the Bitcoin network last year, more than double the 8.7 trillion settled the previous year of 2013. Damn. And reversing 2 years of declining transaction volume since 2021. And according to the data from the vice president of the research at Riot, Bitcoin transaction volume peaked during the 2021 bull market at approximately 47 trillion and sharply declined in 2022 and 2023. As he wrote here, the Bitcoin network finalized more than 19 trillion worth of the Bitcoin transactions in 2024, decisively proving the Bitcoin is both a store of value and a medium of exchange. Thank you, Captain Obvious. Bitcoin had a momentous 2024, you say that again, which included the introduction of the Bitcoin ETF in the US, which officially went live Jan 11th, less than a year ago. And the April 2024 halving event, which we all know is a very bullish catalyst, which only occurs every 4 years. The first one was in 2012, second one 2016, third one 2020, and the fourth one we had in April of 2024 last year. Here's the Bitcoin network transaction volume from 2019 to 2024. You can see in 2019 it was only 3.9 trillion. It doubled in 2020. It massively surged in 2021 to 47 trillion, and last year it was only 19 trillion, which is virtually half of what we experienced in 2021. Meanwhile, the Bitcoin hash rate breaks records in early 2025, which is a sign of the times. Typically, the Bitcoin price always follows the hash rate. So as long as we keep reaching new unprecedented all-time highs of price discovery when it comes to the hash, we know the price is likely to follow. The Bitcoin hash rate is the total computing power securing the Bitcoin protocol, which hit a new all-time high of 1,000 exahashes per second. And I believe it's 1,000 quintillion exahashes per second, but we don't need to get so technical, do we? That was on actually January 3rd, which is the anniversary of the Genesis block, 16 years in the making. However, the hash rate quickly fell back to 775 exahashes per second. Data shows from Crypto Quant, US-based Bitcoin mining pools accounted for over 40% of the global hash rate, meaning over 40% of the Bitcoin is mined in the United States. And the country controlling the most computing power of the network continues to be debated. I guess some say China, some say the United States. What are your thoughts there? According to the Miner Mag, the two U.S. mining pools, Foundry USA and Mara Pool, accounted for 38.5% of all the blocks mined last year. Despite the increase of the hashing power, China-based mining pools still control the majority of the hash rate on the Bitcoin network. And that's up for debate, I guess. An accurate gauge of the hash dominance is difficult to establish due to the synonymous and geographically distributed nature of the Bitcoin mining. And that's a good thing. We don't want governments to know exactly every location of where every node is. That wouldn't be a good look. That's like telling the bad guys in Dragon Ball where all the Dragon Balls are located. You just don't do that. They'll summon the dragon and do something evil. Mining pool operators and companies may be headquartered within the country, but often rely on the hash rate contributed by the individual miners living around the world. Moreover, we have VPNs allowing users to mask their IP address, and thank God for that, further obfuscating the true geolocation of the miners. And there you go, crypto bros. What it do? Bring facts. It's raining. It's raining here in Puerto Rico as well. Sleeting. I don't even know what sleeting means. And snowing all at the same time. Haven't seen a car on the road all day. Right on, brother. Much appreciation to all the mods. God bless you. That's right. God bless all of our CNA fam. And Welcome everyone joining the live. Again, we're live on X, Rumble, and YouTube, just getting through all the news here on the day. Bitcoin's barely in the green, maintaining above 98.4. Today's a closing week. We're going to get a weekly candle close in a couple of hours. Let's see how high we can get, family. The higher, the better. Thank you, Diana Jones. Just reposted you. Shout out to my boy, Sergio. I appreciate you hooking it up with your personal driver to pick me up at the airport and take care of a lot of that stuff. I was told that Ubers are not as easy to find in El Salvador as it is out here in the United States. So he highly recommended securing a driver for all the, travel and such. So thank you, Sergio. And thank you for these epic caps. I know there's a new shipment on the way, but it's Three Kings week. So I'm probably not going to get that shipment till Tuesday, I would assume. But thanks in advance. If anyone would like custom caps like this, go show Sergio some love. BitcoinCaps.net. Get yourself a custom Bukele cap. Hey, watching at home, watching the greatest show on the tube. Love you, brother. Shout out to the D-Day Noonan. What up, JB? Excited for the trip to El Salvador. Shout out Juan Romero. That's right. I'll be seeing you there, brother. I did hear about the, what is it called? The earthquake. I saw Bukele posted it. It was 6.3. I actually reposted it. Hopefully everyone's safe. Let me know if that's unusual. How often do you guys get earthquakes? And did you feel it? Did it shake you out of bed? Let me know. Bitcoin mining difficulty, which is readjusted every 2 weeks, approximately one to below every 10 minutes, 450 of the biddy per day. Precisely exactly how many of the biddy is mined? 100%. Mining difficulty directly translates into the hash rate, and we love hash, right? Broskies, isn't that right? Can I get an amen, dankness? Don't we love the 420? I mean, absolutely. Is never going to hit 1 million in 2025? Never say never. Why are you so confident? Are you telling me if everything went extremely bullish and Trump says we're going to adopt Bitcoin as a strategic reserve asset, stockpile Bitcoin, and propose a plan to buy 1 million or more Bitcoin while he is the POTUS of the United States? Do you think that level of game theory really can't send Bitcoin 10x? Being genuine question, you just 0% chance when you speak with such confidence. I'm curious why you're so confident. Sergio, hats are awesome. Couldn't agree more. That's why we always show him the love. Hey, JV, it's nice to be back in this cold weather. Can I get a gong strike? Absolutely. We're going to strike the gong and send Bitcoin back to price discovery where it belongs. JVSC in El Salvador, you can go up to the Bitcoin ATMs and exchange to fiat for the biddies. Yes, and I heard if it's still the same from when I originally reported on that, there's no ATM fees for converting Bitcoin to dollars or vice versa because Bitcoin's a legal tender over there, which is even cooler. I'm planning on having sats in like my mobile wallet, and Sergio said you can just pay people zapping sats. So I'll be using mobile wallets and just, for the drive or coffee or whatever expenses. I want to experience what it's like in Bitcoin country as a Bitcoiner. You feel me? So that's the goal, at least. I watched an old money doc with Kaiser when he was young on it. Crazy how long Max has not trusted money. And that's why I trust Max. Max is my spirit animal. I love that guy. Mike, your final warning, don't shill in the chat. I already dropped the rules. Appreciate the reminder. Dankness, and he is correct. We don't appreciate shilling. You guys are always welcome to share what your favorite coin is. I have no problem with that. There's 10 billion coins to choose from, for Christ's sake, and we're all entitled to our own, whatever we love in crypto. But shilling example would be repetitively saying it over and over, nobody really cares. And that would be considered shilling because it's disturbing to the flow of the comments from genuine comments, which are actually related to the show. So you would think it's common sense, but every once in a while, it's important to remind you guys. So thank you, Dankness. Ubers do work in El Salvador. Awesome. I used it all over last March. Well, I was told Uber works, but they're going to be very busy because there's a limited amount of drivers. So for example, Max and Stacy event's going to have 400 or 500 people there. And all of the Uber drivers are probably going to be busy taking guests to and from hotels to that event. So there's not going to be as many available during a big event. I think that's the point he was trying to make. So he said it'd be advantageous to schedule everything in advance. Otherwise, you may be waiting hours, to get a ride somewhere, which is never any fun. So I'd rather have a personal driver. Anyways, it makes more sense. But good to note, Juan. So I'm going to experience it firsthand for myself. I'm in El Salvador all week. So I get to explore. You feel me? And Nippinator can't come, unfortunately. The hotels did not allow dogs. Here in Puerto Rico, it's very common. Most of the hotels allow animals, especially if it's a service dog. So I was kind of shocked there. But at the same time, who brings dogs to events. You know what I mean? So I found a nice sitter, and it'll be the longest I've ever been away from Nip since I adopted him. Almost brings tears to my eyes. But anyways, I mean, he's the new chairman, and he's chilling right now, hiding under the blanket. JV, his shill was a coin name we shouldn't say. Ooh, yeah. And also, we try to keep the stream family friendly to the best of our abilities. So thank you guys. How many wallets with 2 Bitcoin or more? 250,000? Probably accurate. My understanding is there's only about 1 million addresses in the world with 1 Bitcoin or more. So if there's only 1 million whole coiner addresses, safe to say 2 Bitcoin or more, probably pretty accurate. 250,000 or less, maybe. That's a good question. I've never saw that exact metric. So if you figure it out, let me know. Make sure you guys are subscribed to Chandy. Hands down, #1 Bitcoin music channel. Show your support there. This is her second channel. She originally had a channel that blew up almost overnight. Like her first 45 days, it grew to 90,000 subs. And she got shadow banned, and she ended up deleting that channel and creating a brand new one maybe a month or 2 ago. And so that's the brand new channel I strongly encourage you guys to subscribe to, and comment over there and help show her some love, because the algorithm is not so friendly to us, obviously. So we can use all the support we can get, especially on the tube. JV, is it hard leaving your fur baby? It is. I've only ever left Nip for a 3-day local trip on the island, because where I stayed didn't allow dogs either. So the longest I've ever stayed without Nip, and it was only one time in my life since I got him like 6 years ago, was for that 3-day trip. So there's going to be like a 7-day trip, and I'm going to be missing my Nip. I'll keep it 100. But I know he's in good hands, and he had a good time, and the dog sitter is actually very respectable and good. Every day she'd send photos of Nip playing with the other dogs, so I felt good about that he was playing with other dogs and in good hands, and it was nice people. So I know he'll be taken care of, so I can't sweat it. Shout out to Chandy. Usually we summon her after the first hour of the stream. Let's see if we can summon her when we start playing her music. Typically how it works, unless she's watching in the background. I know she's been very busy, has a lot on the agenda to get done. 1 to 10 Bitcoin per wallet is 841,710 wallets. 1 to 10 Bitcoin. Wow. Good to note. Well, there's the answer right there. Thank you. JV, it's almost harder leaving the fur babies than the human babies. Wow. I never leave my dog, and I don't blame you, Matthew. I mean, if I had the option to take the Nipinator, I absolutely would. It just, the hotels were not accepting dogs, so I didn't know what else. I mean, what else are you supposed to do? I like traveling with my little guy. He actually just traveled with me to Florida. We had a good time, and everyone loves Nip. The airport, he gets all the attention. The kids want to pet him. The adults want to pet him. So it's funny how that works. But anyways, let's continue, shall we? I know I got a lot to share with you guys today. Thank you, Eric the Red. Have you attended the Sunday service? We are still in session. That's right. I'm preaching the holy gospel of Satoshi, as we do each and every day. This is the, what should we call it? This is the Bitcoin CNA Cafe. This is the final chapter in the Bible, the hidden book, the hidden scroll of the Bitcoin CNA Cafe. Kenneth Wood, welcome to the stream. Love the hat, bro. And this is a fitted. They have these custom fitteds. I'm using the small to medium. And shout out Sergio for hooking it up. He says Bukele and Max have large heads, so he gives them the large. I still rock the small. Apparently, I'm a small guy. I'm rocking small shirts. You know what I mean? Just being honest as rock, mama. I'm so excited for you. I hope you can all FaceTime me or something when you are there. Well, it's going to be fun for sure. But anyways, let's continue. When I sit my grand dogs, I send my daughter-in-law pictures at intervals. Smart. Makes us feel safer. And that's good to know they're being taken care of. But next story of the day, let's continue where we left off. We discussed that 19 trillion. Here's the latest with the FTX rate repayment. I'm curious if FTX debacle, did that affect any of you? Did any of you happen to have cryptocurrency on the FTX exchange when they ended up filing Chapter 11 bankruptcy and all the shenanigans went down? Let me know, and here's the latest with what's going on there. The reorganization plan for the crypto exchange FTX is still going through a bankruptcy proceeding. Doesn't seem like it take forever. It's been going on for years. Took effect January 3rd. Interesting, on the inception of the Genesis block anniversary, and will allow users to begin receiving repayments. In a recent post, FTX debtors said the users requesting funds should be wary of phishing emails designed to look like they were sent from an exchange. Customers need to have filed a claim to the official website to be eligible to receive reimbursement, which FTX said should happen within 60 days for the first group. And according to the FTX plan, an initial group of convenience classes will be the first to receive their repayments, including users claiming $50,000 or less. The plan, approved back in October, stated that 98% of the FTX users can expect to be paid 119% of the declared value of their funds. And I'll break down my synopsis of what that really means when I'm done reading it. Repaying users could be one of the final throes of the FTX saga, beginning with the exchange filing bankruptcy in November of 2022, moving to some executives being sent to prison for their role in defrauding the users. And at this time, Bankman-Fried is serving a 25-year prison sentence, and I'm skeptical he'll remain in prison. I've been calling since before he was even sentenced to prison that the Biden administration would likely pardon him, and now that's actually a legitimate bet over on Polymarket. Can't make this ish up. Let me know if you guys agree, disagree, but anyways, many creditors have criticized the debtors' plan for claimants to receive reimbursement based on the prices of the cryptos the exchange held at the time of the bankruptcy. In 2022, the price of the Bitcoin increased by more than 400% in 2 years. So my understanding is, instead of them paying you back the 1 Bitcoin hypothetically you had on the exchange, they're giving you the US fiat monopoly dollar equivalent at the time when we were at the bottom of the market in 2022, which is like a spit in the face. Ultimately saying, seriously, because right now, Bitcoin's worth 100,000. At that time, it was like 20,000. Hence, they say 400%, close to 500% increase since that time. So when they say they're paying back 119%, that's just a bunch of smoke and mirrors. People aren't getting even a fraction of what they should be receiving because no one is really being made whole. The only way to be made whole is to receive the exact crypto you had on the exchange, not the fiat equivalent. Who gets the difference? The lawyers, or is it the Department of everyone's getting scammed again. It's crazy. But of the FTX executives indicted amid the exchange collapses, only 2 escaped prison time. How they did that, I have no idea. But Nishad and Gary Wang, apparently. Former FTX CEO Bankman-Fried and Caroline Ellison, and former FTX Digital Markets Ryan Salami were all sentenced to years in prison, though SBS has filed an appeal for his conviction. And like I said, knowing these people, their families, and who they're connected to, and considering that Bankman-Fried was the second largest donor to the Democratic Party, I'm highly skeptical that guy's going to remain in prison. It's like he got a get out of jail free card and can't do no wrong like the rest of the lizard folk. But that's just my 2 Satoshis. Let me know your thoughts, and I'll read your comments out loud. Welcome everyone to the live. Read the very fine print on the payback. They made it very difficult at best. Oh, I bet they did. It would be redonkulous for him to stay in prison. That's what I'm trying to say. Happy Sunday, fan. What a beautiful day. Shout out Moonstone holding it down. Santa Barbara in the building. California. Let's go. They should rename, because isn't California like Florida's the Sunshine State? California's like, is it like the Gold Rush State? They need to call it, rebrand it like the Digital Gold Rush State or the Bitcoin State. Do something positive for the Californians, like our Moonstone. You guys deserve it. She looks like a hobbit. Who we referring to there? That's funny. Yes, it's beautiful here in Florida, so not much in... Oh, what part of Florida are you in, Rock Mama? You may have told me before, but I must have forgot. They never were U.S.-based other than Alameda. That's right, they're out of the Bahamas doing some shenanigans. They had some crazy structures set up, like I've never seen before. Like hundreds of structures upon structures hidden within structures of structures. It's like Inception. There's a dream within a dream. It's wild. The Golden State. That's right. So if California is the Golden State, they need to rebrand that shit. And I think Peter Schiff should be the mascot of California if they're not going to change it. Just make him the mascot. Wouldn't that be something? Peter Schiff, the mascot for the state of California, the Gold State. Sam Bankman's girlfriend, wife. Oh, what about her? Are you talking about Caroline Ellison? Sarasota here. Nice, Jay. Nice. I do got family all across Florida. Central California is kind of known as the Gold Coast by the locals. So good to note. It's like 55 degrees and sunny. Wow. 55 degrees in Florida. That's crazy. Here, it's very nice. I can't complain. And a little rainy, but it typically rains every day in Puerto Rico. And I looked up the weather for February here, and it's the perfect weather. The highs is the mid 80s. And it's the least rainy month of the entire year, February in Puerto Rico. Jacksonville, that's what's up. Shout out Jacksonville holding it down. All my Floridians. Were you born in Florida, Rock Mama, or did you end up relocating there? What we see here in the UK, the homeless state Calais. You're about 4 hours away from me, Rock Mama. Ironically, it appears that Maine escapes this storm. Sorry for sharing the cold with the rest of you. Why you got to share the cold? I'm going to rename you Sub-Zero. Whoosh, shooting ice blocks. 74 here. I'm more mid-state. I agree about Cali. They should do the same thing with the medical citizen about the Biden handing out. It's a mockery. It's been snowing here in Ontario. Shout out to all my Canadians, eh? Holding her down. What's the weather in El Salvador this time of year? Can someone from El Salvador tell me? I would imagine perfect. I used to live in Costa Rica, and it was always beautiful weather and many microclimates. You can experience a lot in Central America. It's raining here in British Columbia, eh? It's snowing in Scotland. Good Lord. Sub-Zero, I like it. Yeah, Sub-Zero is always my favorite Mortal Kombat character. Get over here. And that was Scorpion. But, welcome everyone. We got 1,000 people on the stream. We still got a lot to share. Talent Bird says it's snowing here too. Snowing all over here. Well, enjoy the next freeze frame here. And what do we discuss next? This $36 trillion debt in the lizard folk, such as Janet Yellen. Here we go. Treasury Secretary, which I thought just resigned. Didn't I read that story a couple of weeks ago? Janet Yellen is urging Congress to act as the debt ceiling deadline approaches. In a letter to the Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson, Yellen says the government will likely reach its debt limit sometime in January. What do you mean they have a debt limit? Never heard of such thing. Largely because of the obligation related to the Medicare payment. Forcing the government to take extraordinary measures sounds like some shenanigans if you're to ask JV. The Treasury has previously used the term extraordinary measures to refer to suspending investments in certain entitlement programs, pausing sales of government series Treasury securities, and other accounting maneuvers to keep the government a-running. Here's quoting Miss Yellen herself. Treasury currently expects to reach the new limit between the January of the 14th of the 23rd, at which time it'll be necessary for the Treasury to start taking extraordinary measures. I respectfully urge the Congress to act to protect the full faith and credit of the United States. Here's my suggestion to anyone really running Congress. Don't do anything that lizard lady tells you to do, because it probably has awful intentions, because she is a criminal, tax avoidance, all that stuff. And Jamie Dimon knows the details. The U.S. national debt's currently $36 trillion. The government spent nearly $1 trillion simply to service the interest on the debt for the fiscal year of 2024, which ended last year, September 30th, according to the Congressional Budget Office. And in a new interview with the Wall Street Journal CEO Council Summit, Yellen expressed regret about not being able to improve the U.S. fiscal situation. Yeah, you've been destroying the fiscal situation since you've been appointed. Now get out of there and go home and get your shine box along with the Gary Gensler. I thought you were ready to resign. What are you still even doing? Giving Congress advice, lizard folk. Quoting her one more time, and then we'll get rid of her. I am concerned about the fiscal sustainability. I'm sorry we haven't made more progress. I believe that the deficit needs to be brought down, especially now that we're in an environmental higher of an interest rate. For example, over the last year, the interest cost for the debt has increased by several hundred billion. It's one of the largest items responsible for the increase of the budget deficit, and we do need to bring it down. The primary deficit, excluding interest, is now a little over 3%. I believe it needs to come down. Here's one thing I will agree with Ms. Yellen. The debt deficit does need to go down, but I will guarantee you, however she's proposing to take it down is not going to take it down, is only going to make it worse. You want to bring the debt down, sell your gold crap and trade it for Bitcoin. That will bring your debt down, right? But I can guarantee you anything she's proposing is only going to make it worse and cause more inflation and make more people poor because she works for the dark forces of evil and doesn't have a good cell in her body of God, right? She's been infiltrated by the dark forces. And I'll leave it at that. She gets me wild up. I can't look at these people any longer. And, you know what I mean? Be silent. We've had enough damage from her. Get rid of her. Stat, Trump. Amen, JV. Thank you, Rock Mama. -16 in central Alberta. Damn. But you must like the cold or you wouldn't be there. Am I accurate there? We had snow in Bristol, England yesterday, and today is 13 degrees Celsius. Right on. So yeah, they create the problem and then they offer the solution, which just causes more problems and doesn't help anyone. Sound familiar? They did the same shit during COVID. Oh, we have the solution. We'll poison everybody. Da, da, da. It's like they create the problem and then they offer the bullshit solutions that make them rich and make the rest of the world poor and enslaved. You know what I mean? Am I right or am I right? Yes or yes? Can I get an amen? Amen, JB. Thank you, Rockmore. JB? No, she does not. Exactly. You think they actually care? No. They don't have any shred of human decency. They've already sold their souls if they're working for those people. You know what I mean? They can't do what they think is in the best interest of the country. They have to just read the script from the higher up handler telling them what to do. I read the script. I know nothing about money and financials and deficits. I just read the script and I'm a woman and I'm old, so you have to respect me. I'm an old woman. I read script. Like, get out of here, Miss Shellen. Go home and get your shine box. I thought you resigned, damn it. Anyways, prayers for Melda, 100%. Thanks for the reminder. Shout out Melda if you're watching this right now. Okay, Laura, I moved my mom here in Indiana a few years ago for the snow. Once Canada oust, God bless Bitcoin, nothing wrong with living in the cold. It kills the bacteria. Just like the hospitals. Same argument. Why is it so cold? To kill all the bacteria. Well, maybe some bacteria is good for us. Who knows? Anyways, yeah, I'm done with my Janet Yellen impersonation. I just can't stand looking at her, to be quite honest with you. But I'll leave it at that. Next story of the day. Here's the latest with MicroStrategy, and then we'll discuss the $1 million catalyst, which will realistically send Bitcoin to $1 million in 2025, and the only catalyst according to the analysts. And but here's the first headlines from Saylor. MicroStrategy Saylor posted Bitcoin tracker hinting at a Monday purchase. And as pointed out here from Bitcoin Magazine, for the 9th week in a row, Saylor posts a Saylor Bitcoin tracker. MicroStrategy always buys more Bitcoin the next day. So there's a precursor or foreshadowing, which ultimately is Michael Saylor flexing, announcing before he makes the announcement that he's about to make the announcement. So more than likely tomorrow is going to be an announcement. In my opinion, it's probably going to be, yeah, we just purchased another $2 billion worth of Bitcoin. If not exactly $2 billion, it will still be a significant purchase nonetheless. We don't know the exact amount. Just in the year 2024, Michael Saylor's MicroStrategy purchased over 200,000 Bitcoin. Frickin' BlackRock purchased over 500,000 Bitcoin. Just between the two of them, it's over 700,000 of the bitty. Mind-boggling. But here's the latest. MicroStrategy co-founder Mikey Saylor posted a Bitcoin chart from the Saylor Tracker website Jan 5th. The same chart Saylor typically posts on Sunday before purchasing Bitcoin on the following day. And to fix the correction of the article, announced the purchasing of the Bitcoin, which means he's probably been purchasing it all week, and tomorrow he makes the big announcement. Quoting them here, something about the Saylor tracker is not quite right, the tech founder wrote, hinting at an impending Bitcoin acquisition on the Monday. Saylor posted the same chart a week ago, December 29th. MicroStrategy purchased 2,100 Bitcoin at an average purchase price of $97,000 per coin. December 30th, the company is eyeing more purchases, a part of the 21-21 plan to finance the acquisition of the $42 billion of Bitcoin by issuing the $21 billion in equity and $21 billion in fixed income securities. Now, MicroStrategy entered the NASDAQ 100, a weighted stock market index of the 100 largest companies of the NASDAQ, exchanged by the market cap, and that was December 23rd, more recently. And MicroStrategy's addition to the index gives traditional stock investors holding the instrument through the ETFs indirect exposure to the IBITI. And following the inclusion of the company into the NASDAQ 100, MicroStrategy called a special shareholder meeting to increase the amount of shares to finance the purchase of the Bitcoin for the corporate treasury strategy. And they were the first public publicly traded company to put the Bitcoin on the balance sheet to begin with back in 2020. And according to the December 23rd filing with the SEC, MicroStrategy asked the shareholders to approve an increase of the Class A common stock from 330 million shares to 10.3 billion shares. The company also asked shareholders to increase the authorized shares of preferred stock from 5 million shares to over 1 billion shares. And on Jan 4th, MicroStrategy announced it was seeking a $2 billion raise through a perpetual preferred stock offering. That's why I assume he's going to announce a $2 billion buy tomorrow. We shall soon see. The perpetual preferred offering will be senior Class A common stock in case of a bankruptcy, and it will take priority over the equity hodlers during the financial distributions and a corporate liquidation. The proposed raise is separate from the company's core 2121 plan to finance the purchase of the Bitty and is expected sometime in Q1. I guess they mean 2025. Another error, Cointelegraph. I got to hold you accountable. But there you have it, yo. Let me know your thoughts. Do you think Michael Saylor will make yet another massive announcement tomorrow, purchasing potentially a couple of $1 billion worth of thy Bitty? Holler at your boy and read your comments out loud. Plenty of digestive bacteria in our guts, says Violetta. Dankta says, I know what you meant, and it's okay. They do need to be booted, but we'll stay family-friendly for the two. When one short, we can add. Hey, I like seeing the sats per share for the MicroStrategy rise for each little bitty purchase accretive. That's what's up. I have been chanting or chatting for months. Not financial advice. If you're a fan of the Bitcoin, consider a small bag of the Bitcoin miners, Marathon, Riot, Clean Spark, and the rest of them. Why? Bitcoin 2X's, though, 4 to 10X guaranteed, not guaranteed. There are no guarantees. And there you have it, yo. And a reminder, everything you hear during this live stream is for entertainment purposes only. I do not give financial advice. If you're seeking financial advice, the only one qualified to do so apparently is Jim Cramer. The only guy I know who has a free pass to give you the worst financial advice and not go to jail. So if you're going to take financial advice, that's the go-to guy by the lizard folk that they want you to listen to. By all means, take all the financial advice from that guy. I wish you luck as well. But you're right, Greg. You have been calling it. Respect, brother. You got to give respect where respect is due. How many of you do have exposure to MicroStrategy or any of the Bitcoin miners? Do let me know. I'm going to check the X feed again. We do got close to 1,100 people on the live stream. Again, we're live on X, Rumble, and the Tube. Shout out to Bub. Appreciating the CNA signal today, as usual. Thanks, JV. You're very welcome, brother. Appreciate you. The event in El Salvador is a private event? Yes, it's called the Max and Stacy Invitational. There may be some non-golfer tickets still available, potentially. Follow Max and Stacy on X and you can check it out. Or if you just Google Max and Stacy Invitational, it'll probably take you to their website. And you can purchase a ticket if it's available. I'm pretty sure all the golfing tickets are sold out. They've been sold out for a long time. But there's non-golfer spectator tickets, which I'm one of, and there may be 1 or 2 left. I know there's not many, if any, but it is a private event. And I'm looking forward to it, obviously, 5 days out. It's a 2-day event. It's going to be January 10th and the 11th. Unfortunately, I missed the first day because I don't fly into that evening, and that's the soonest I can get there. But I'll be there for the second day, which is for the golf tournament as a spectator, and looking forward to locking arms with you guys. Yeah, man, freaking Jim Cramer, if you need investment advice, I mean, a broken clock is right at least twice a day. Such a scam, Cramer. Well, that's who the government wants you to listen to, so you got to listen to them. Who are the talking heads giving the financial advice that are allowed to do it? Jim Cramer, Jamie Dimon, Gary Gensler. These are the guys. They deserve our trust. If you trust your government, you should trust those folks. Cramer is actually the best you can hear from. You can only hear the opposite he says, and you'll win 100% of the time. Interestingly, there is an inverse Jim Cramer ETF ticker. That is hilarious. Only Cramer, bro. Only Cramer. Thank you, Bistack P. The more viewers, the more the Bitcoin pumps. That's what I've been preaching. The more you guys repost the stream, share the stream, comment the stream, subscribe, yada, 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 the more we can orange pill the masses as we preach the holy gospel of Satoshi 7 days a week. And that's why I'm here. I'm trying to orange pill here. Thank you, BitStack, for the reminder. And shout out to the Bitcoin and coffee. Speaking of coffee, I can't wait to try Bukele's Bean of Fire brand, the award-winning coffee coming out of El Salvador, Bitcoin country. You know, I'm quite into coffee nowadays. Late to the game, obviously, but I'm digging it. I even had some coffee today, but I've never had the Bean of Fire. It'll be my first time experimenting with it over in Bitcoin country. And Max and Stacy said there's going to be plenty of coffee at the event to go around. So I'm going to be quadruple caffeinated. Just you wait. With at advice, you would be better buying the Hawk Tua. Pretty much. Is BlackRock buy more shares in MicroStrategies? That would not be good. Yeah, the bigger, this is just common knowledge. The bigger any publicly traded company gets, the more shares BlackRock and Vanguard will have. They currently are the two largest shareholders of MicroStrategy. So just common sense. The bigger the company gets, the bigger their shares in the company and the bigger their profits in the company and the more control they have over the board. You know what I mean? It's crazy, but that's the reality. And it's not just MicroStrategy, it's every single company and the Bitcoin miner, everything. It's crazy. Good afternoon, Bitcoin family. Shout out Jerome Smith. Being a fire, I need to order some. I know. Last time I went to order some, they were sold out. I'm sure they've restocked since, but I haven't ordered any. But I'm going to be taking some back home to Puerto Rico. Exactly. The Oracle, you might catch up to me there. I know. I'm looking to get into the 40-ounce club. There's only one way to get there. You got to earn it. You got to drink 40 ounces. I think the most coffee I've ever had in a day is 16 ounces. So I got to step up my game. Even if I double up, it's only 32 ounces, and it puts me subpar of the Oracle. I remember J.C. Kramer shilling the Silicon Valley Bank days before the crash. Precisely. I think the intention is to make you poor. If I was to guess, and I was a betting man, which I am not, I would guess the purpose of him being that talking suit and giving the financial advice and being able to and having a license to give bad advice is specifically so that you're poor. Because the people who control the game of Monopoly, the money printer, you know what I mean? They're not good people. They don't want to see everyone thrive. You think Bill Gates wants to see you successful? You think Warren Buffett wants to hear about your success? Come on now. Come on now. Is BlackRock an edited? I'm sure they are. I don't even got to look it up. If I was a betting man, I'd say absolutely. They're probably the primary shareholder of NVIDIA. Guessing, but you can Google it and let me know if I'm right. Never looked that one up. But every single company I did look up, BlackRock owned. Like every single one. I've never looked up a company and seen BlackRock didn't own it. Like never. Like every single company. So I'm very skeptical that BlackRock doesn't have their hand in every company significant to be worth a while of holding. Remember, MicroStrategy just made it into the NASDAQ, and that's pretty true. Being a fire remembers me. Announce the move. Right on, guys. Anybody drink, how do I pronounce that? DNA. Kakiki from Puerto Rico? How do I say that? I must have heard of it. I'm sure I'm butchering it. But anyways, keep the comments flowing, everyone. We got a lot of people here on the live stream. Yes, they are heavily invested in NVIDIA. Thank you, Dankness. Yeah, they own everything. My understanding is BlackRock owns the majority of the real estate in the world. If not in the world, definitely in the U.S. Again, I never looked this up, but it's just common sense. They own basically everything. Every company worth holding, they own it. Why do you think they're stockpiling so much Bitcoin through BlackRock? I mean, and the rest of the asset managers? Because they find it valuable and they want to own as much of the pie, the Bitcoin pie, as they possibly can. Coquito. Oh, yes, that's phenomenal, that drink. That's what they put in the their version of the eggnog. I forget that seasonal drink. It's delicious. It's amazing. Owned just by a few families. Yeah, a few families control the world. I'm sure you guys have read classic literature, books such as The 13 Bloodlines of the Illuminati. And if you haven't read it, then you don't realize only a handful of people control the entire world. Only a handful of families, a handful of bloodlines. That's the significance of the bloodlines. And we'll dive deeper into that if you like during the uncensored version of the podcast. I've already said too much. BlackRock and State Street. Rumble soon. Yeah, once we get through with our feature story of the day, we will absolutely have a Rumble today so I can speak uncensored. The truth must be shared. I'm rooting for this daily candle head, shoulders to break, target 75 G's, got 25 ready to snag a third of the coin, crossing the fingers. All we need is everyone in the world with a phone to buy $100 worth of the Bitty, and the institutions won't get all of them. Hey, JV, are you planning on using some of the Bitcoin? Yes, sats. Absolutely. I already have a mobile wallet loaded up with sats. I was able to figure out how to get my Albi sats off of the Albi wallet, which has haunted me for the past year. Finally figured it out. Took about 200 attempts, but I have moved to another wallet I actually trust and that works, and I don't have to deal with technical issues. So I do have sats that I will be using to pay for like my taxi rides for my drivers, whatever, coffee. I want to experience what it's like using to live off Bitcoin, because I'm all in. I've been all in Bitcoin since 2017. And when I say all in, I literally mean all in. Like everything I have is in Bitcoin, right? So I'm looking forward to it. Sup, fam? Hope everyone's having a great 2025. Amen. Amen. Real Bitcoiners like when the price go down. Facts. They just can afford to buy more of the Bitty. Another opportunity. There's an opportunity for Bitcoiners to win regardless of the swing. We win regardless of the swing. If we rise, we're counting our blessings, patting ourselves on the shoulder. Thank God I stacked thy Bitty. Thank God I weren't just on the sidelines like Peter Schiffmeister. And if the price crashes, even if it crashed 50% today, I'm patting my other back like, holy shit, what can I sell? Stack up on thy Bitty. It's a win-win. You only lose if you don't understand what the Bitcoin really is and you haven't put in your 10,000 hours of the research. The only losers don't understand it. If you understood it, you'd be all in on the Bitcoin as soon as you've heard about it, as soon as you've understood it, right? Make sure you have your Strike account set up. I already do, and I also have a different account. So I have 2 different mobile wallets ready to go. So if one gives me an issue, I have an alternative. But I'm looking forward to that because I've never used Lightning Network to just purchase day-to-day things. So I'm actually anxious to experience it, what it's like and all that, being there in Bitcoin country firsthand. Joe Brett, amen, JV. $10 taxi, and when you get out, has $100 if the Bitcoin goes up. That's a part of the game, though. If you're too concerned about Bitcoin going up in the future so you can't pay with Bitcoin, you're also missing the boat as well. Because I look at it as blessing another person. The same way you guys bless me by sending me sats over the years, and even though it's only 10,000 sats or 100,000 sats or 5,000 sats or 100 sats, all that shit is now up 4 or 5x from the time you guys sent it to me. You blessed me. So why wouldn't I want to bless fellow Bitcoiners who are accepting Bitcoin as a form of payment, especially business owners, to help support them? We support one another. It's okay to use your Bitcoin when you need to use your Bitcoin to help support fellow Bitcoiners. I much rather, and you may say, JV, you're crazy for this, but I rather use Bitcoin in Bitcoin country than, debit card, just because I want to help be a part of it. You know what I mean? There's nothing wrong with that. And what you don't spend on your debit card, you can just buy more sats back. You understand? So don't think with Bitcoin you can only use it as a store of value. It's also a form of money. It's a viable currency. Lightning Network is a perfect example of that. You know what I mean? CNA fam is the best. Amen. I only time out, please. Maybe he was. Definitely trust your judgment. Bitcoin is volatile because of the dollar's losing value. Facts. I have been to El Salvador last year. Nobody is using it. Well, I'm looking forward to be the only one using it. But I don't agree with that because I've seen plenty of videos of people using it all the time, even though I haven't been there yet. But I'll vouch once I'm there in the flesh. Shifty just posted a comment on Sailor's recent. Yeah, who's really delusional? Is it the guy with the company worth $50 billion, up $25 billion in his Bitcoin investment since 2020? Or is it Peter Schiff, who recently got his bank shut down in Puerto Rico and owns 0 Bitcoin? Who's the real delusional guy? You do the math. If that's delusional, if Michael Saylor's delusional, for being up $25 billion in his Bitcoin investment. That's the type of delusional I'm looking to seek to get to. I'm trying to get to the delusional level. Anyone else want to be delusional with me? Yeah, I mean, and stack sats like Max on RT. You feel me? I get paid in Bitcoin. It's pretty easy to do, and people appreciate it. Exactly. And that's a great example. You can offer a discount for people to pay in Bitcoin, encouraging people to pay in Bitcoin. Watch JV comes back owning a house in Bitcoin City when they build it. You never know. You never know, right? I may end up at a Bitcoin bank setting up shop, borrowing against thy biddy with a brand new mansion in Bitcoin country, in Bitcoin City, at the Citadel, right? I want to be neighbors to Max and Stacy. So let's see if we can make that happen, Cap. But anyways, the show must go on. Welcome everyone join the live stream. We got 1,300 people here. We're about to dive into our feature story of the day, and then we'll do our live Q&A segment. Happy Sunday, fun day. Church is in session. Keep the comments flowing. It's always greatly appreciated. Now for our feature story of the day, fam. The price of one Bitcoin hitting $1 million per coin in 2025 is absolutely possible under this one circumstance, according to this Bitcoin influencer. So let's break this story down for you, shall we? So yeah, Trump's idea to add Bitcoin to the U.S. National Reserve is unlikely or even crazy, at least next year, which is now this year, according to experts, including the Bitwise management company, U.S. Federal Reserve Chief Jerome Powell, Lawrence Summers, who served as U.S. Treasury Secretary in 1999-2001. Now here's the guy we're talking about. Bitwise's IT director, Jeff Park, estimated the likelihood of such a plan happening at less than 10%. I want to know if you agree, disagree. My personal thoughts, I'm more optimistic. I think 40% chance, right? I got 40% hope that we can achieve that. Meaning I don't think it's the most likely scenario, but it's a very strong possibility. Not the most probable, but absolutely possible. Let me know if you agree, disagree. Now, Powell, as well as Summers, did not support the idea at all. Not surprised. Even those who are generally positive about the incoming administration point to the legislative regulatory obstacles to adopting such drastic changes to the state reserve. We all know Jay Powell is in bed with the dollar. He serves lizard folk who work for the dollar and the money printers, and his only job is to pretend the U.S. dollar is strong. We understand. However, Park believes the success of the BIDI adoption in the U.S. could push the price of the major crypto to $1 million per coin, or even higher, as he says here. The idea of the Federal Strategic Bitcoin Reserve in 2025 is an event with a less than 10% probability of happening. This is the only reason Bitcoin can reach 1 million or higher in 2025. However, even if the Trump plan doesn't materialize, demand for the BIDI from traditional companies is expected this year. The reason for the development, such as a trend, may be the success of MicroStrategy and the number of the other companies whose shares rose in value after the adoption of a strategy to create the Bitcoin Reserve. This opinion was expressed to the block by Jake Ostrovsky, a representative of Wintermute, one of the largest market makers for the crypto sphere. The basic idea behind buying the BIDI to boost the corporate balance sheet is that it can improve the company's balance sheet while boosting the stock price. This strategy was started by the MicroStrategy chairman and the one and only Mikey Saylor. And as Bitcoin accumulated since September of 2020, MicroStrategy shares have risen more than 2,000%. That's a 20x, baby. Reaching an all-time high of 543 bones in late November. The previous price peak was $333, recorded in January of 2000. According to data from the TradingView platform, as of December 27, MicroStrategy clocked in at 341 bones, baby. And if you don't know, bones is just slang for dollars. I think this will be a pretty strong driver next year, said the expert. I would say Saylor's success makes this strategy more palatable to the other public companies, and I suspect there will be a lot more of them in the near future. Two prime digital asset CEOs, Alexander Blum, told The Block, once upon a time, buying Bitcoin for balance was a reality, only for the crypto natives. Now it's becoming mainstream. Amid the promising post-election prospects, expect more and more publicly traded companies to spend their surplus monies looking at Bitcoin as a reserve asset. Let me know if you agree or disagree. And in addition to the continuing trend of buying buying the biddy for the balance sheet. He also predicted that some companies may start using Ether as an investment vehicle, as he says here. It's probably a matter of time before someone does the same with Ether. I'm a little skeptical there, but hey, that's just me. For example, Bitwise, Bitcoin management company, has applied for a new ETF, the Bitwise Bitcoin Standard Corporations ETF, which will only buy shares of companies that will add the biddy to the balance sheet. Another bid for the related fund to MicroStrategy has been submitted by Strive, a management company co-founded by Ramek Ramsawani. He is expected to co-head the Doge alongside Tesla chief car maker Elon. The fund, called the Strive, the Bitcoin ETF, unlike Bitwise, does not target the purchase of the company's stock, but only debt securities that are issued by companies for the Bitcoin future purchases. MicroStrategy has been issuing such debt and plans to do so in the future. Its experience has been adopted by the largest U.S. mining company, Marathon. For example, November, Marathon issued bonds totaling $700 million with maturity until 2030, part of the raised funds they used to buy the biddy. However, this had no effect on the Marathon prices. In 2024, the company's share price fell about 18%. And we have other companies doing the sale or put, such as the Japanese company, Metaplanet, and other companies are following in the footsteps of adopting Bitcoin for the Treasury. 2025 is the year of the Bitcoin for the Treasury. The Treasury, the United States, Bitcoin, Reserve, and the other countries are going to follow because they all follow the leader. And the leader is the free world. It's the United States of America. But who has the first mover's advantage? Bitcoin country, Mr. Bukele, the first one to adopt Bitcoin as a legal tender all the way back in 2021, front running the rest of the masses. But hey, there you have it. There's the latest and greatest. Let me know if you have any insights there. What are your thoughts on the probability of Bitcoin hitting $1 million in 2025? I shared my personal thoughts, my bull scenarios, 1.1 million, and throwing a random number, I'd say 40% chance Trump follows through with the promises. I like the team behind him. I like they're all pro crypto, but I also understand there's dark forces controlling the money printer, which have a lot of power, and that the things Trump want to do, he may not be able to do. You just never know. So I am also low-key skeptical, but I'm still bullish to the fact, even if things don't go according to plan, even if the forces of evil end up winning when it comes to, Bitcoin laws and shit like that and stockpiling the biddy for the country, I can still see a modest 4x for this cycle. 420. Am I base for the bros? Of course I'm base for the broskies. And we'll leave it at that. Hodl, hodl, hodl. Understood Trump had other options to store the Bitcoin for the U.S. and not just the Federal Reserve. I would think the people in Congress would benefit from it too. Yeah, everyone benefits except the people that control the world. And understanding your enemy and how things really work, you start to understand that there's almost so much power a president really has. There's only so much they can do, regardless of what they want to do. I remember previous time he served as POTUS, he promised to arrest Hillary Clinton, right? Lock away Hillary. I forgot his catchphrases. Nothing materialized over that. He doesn't have the power to lock up Hillary. Facts. If he could, maybe he actually would, or maybe he wouldn't, and it was just all talk on the surface because everyone hated her and knew she was a criminal. I don't know. I don't have all the answers. I'm just very sus when it comes to politicians because I understand the dark forces, and you can't underestimate your enemy. I like to always think it's rainbows and unicorns and sunshine, but that's not the reality of the world we live in. And the current state of events is proof of that, if you feel what I'm saying. Bobby, it actually makes it easier to sell the boomers. They understand the stock market volatility and beginning to understand the crypto trading. I've been 5 days without a cig. Congratulations, DNA. I'm proud of you, brother. I know that's one of the most difficult things to give up. So well done. Stick to that. We'll hold you accountable. Remind us every so often, and I'll congratulate you. The anti-crypto army, we call them poor. A decompression table is in play on the 4-hour candles. We got to decompress. Hillary is protected because of the people she is. Of course. But did you think Trump didn't know this? In my opinion, they're all friends behind closed doors. They all respect one another, but they have different agendas, and they may be playing for different teams, but the same bloodlines, right? Think of it as different branches of the same tree, but it's the same tree with the same roots. I know that may offend some people. That's just my personal opinion for what it's worth. take it with a grain of salt. But anyways, let's switch it over to the uncensored extended version of the pod. We're going to continue for another hour. Welcome, family. January 5th, a beautiful day today. It was exactly 2 months ago Trump got reelected as the POTUS. So let's continue. If you're on the tube, you ain't got to go home, but you got to get the hell out of here. Head on over to the Rumble, rumble.cryptonewsalerts.net. If you're on Rumble or X, you're golden. The stream is going to continue for another hour. But if you're on YouTube, it's about to come to an end. Again, head on over to the Rumble. I'll see you there shortly. Deuces. And mods, just let me know when